What is up, Freedom Crusaders? This is Paul Hutchings with Freedom Crusaders TV and paulhutchings.net. I hope you are having an awesome day. It is, what's today? July 8th, 2018. And I'm just coming to you live here on a Sunday. You may or may not know, I've been doing daily videos now for quite a long time, over a month. And so I want to keep those going. What I want to do today is share with you some cool news and also talk a little bit about the freedom crusading, the freedom formula, right? The freedom formula that I learned way back when I was living in a 1984 single wide trailer house. And funny enough, I learned about this idea. And this idea has been driving me in my life and business for like 15 years now. I actually just turned 38 here this last year, had a birthday a couple weeks ago. Woohoo, way to go on my birthday. But yeah, I read this idea in a book in my, I think it was my mid 20s. So a little over 10 years, maybe 10, 15 years. But yeah, so it's Sunday, just kind of kicking back, doing this new live format. Typically what I do is I record a video and I upload it. But I don't want to spend a whole lot of time today. And so I figured if I just go live, I could get it done a little bit faster. And also was talking to a fellow Freedom Crusader, good friend of mine, Mike Hobbs, yesterday, last couple of days. And we were just kind of masterminding on different successful YouTube channels. And Mike's been watching a lot of different YouTube superstars and noticing the different ways that they do things. And one of the things that he noticed is that a lot of these successful YouTubers, they don't really focus a whole ton on SEO. They just kind of go live. They let their personality shine through. They speak to and build their audience. Maybe even some of them very little editing. Recording phone videos and uploading those. And so Mike and I talked a little bit about doing a little bit different format. So I'm trying this today, going live, just kind of shooting from the hip, and I'm going to see also if I can add some music from the YouTube Creator Studio after I post this live. So I'm not sure how that'll work out. But anyway, the good news. Let me share the good news with you guys today. Last Saturday, my wife and I accepted an offer on a house that we have for sale. So we a year and a half or so ago, we bought this house at an auction. It was really run down, in bad shape, but it was it was a good deal. And it had a house. It was a 3-bed, 1-bath at the time. We actually turned it into a 4-bed, 1-bath. And it also had some extra land with the property that we felt we could subdivide off. So we could get like 2 additional acres, fix up the house. House has a shop, and then sell it. And so we've been working on this project for a long time, about a year and a half or so. I worked on it a lot last year. Never flipped a house before, right? As with a lot of things that you'll do in freedom crusading, you just see that there's a necessary part of your next step. You might not know how to do it, but you do it. You take it on and you figure it out along the way. And I have some, friends here locally that have had some success with flipping. And so I was able to get some advice along the way. And also in one of the products that we have a really cool module on house flipping that can help. But anyway, so we took on this project, renovated this house, put it on the market, and we tried to sell it for sell by owner for a little while. We actually had quite a few people interested in it. I met with them, but we never really had any offers come through. And this went on for 2 or 3 months. And so finally we listed it here a couple of months ago. And it's also with the realtor has had some interest, but no offers, right, come through until this last Saturday. So we had an offer. Our asking price is $165, and we got an offer actually of $140. So it was quite a bit lower than our asking price. But we countered at a little bit less than our asking price. And then, the negotiation took place. And anyway, we settled in on a price that's very close to our asking price, with an agreement that we'll do some updates on the property before we close. So this next week, hopefully we'll be signing the papers and locking in that offer. Not a done deal yet, but it is really exciting to have that in the works. And what's really exciting from the standpoint of freedom crusading, which is what I'm doing, right? Working on building a life of financial freedom by following the freedom formula. And one aspect of that freedom formula is growing your income in such a way that you can take that money and invest it in income producing assets. And so with this house that we have for sale, when we sell it, the proceeds from that property we'll use to kind of parlay into at least 2 other rental properties. And so we'll be able to really grow our rental income from our real estate portfolio. And that'll get us, once that's done, that'll get us just about there to that goal that I set way back when I was living in that trailer house, and learn that freedom formula. So we're close, right? We're not there yet, but we're so close. I can almost taste it, and I literally just cannot wait until the day where I wake up in the morning on that first day, and I will have zero need at all to do anything for money. I just cannot wait until that day comes, and that brings me to the freedom formula. So I'll talk about that real quick, and then let you get on with your day. But back in the day, you may or may not know, I used to live in a 1984 single wide trailer house. When I graduated from college, my wife and I met and we got married, and I had really no financial assets to bring to the marriage. I had about $40,000 in college debt, but really had no savings. I had a job. I was making $11.09 an hour. My wife actually was a dental assistant, so she was making right around 11 or 12 bucks an hour too. She did have a little bit of savings, I think a couple $1,000, not a lot, but a little bit. And so when my wife and I started our marriage together, we bought this single wide trailer house. We parked it on my grandfather's land here in Southeast Idaho. And that's how we started in life, right? And so every day I'm going to this job, I'd gotten my degree, was working this job, making 11 bucks an hour. And I just kind of thought that's all there was to life. And I remember, I got invited to a network marketing presentation. And so I went to this network marketing presentation one time, and this guy, drawing these circles on a whiteboard, talking about financial freedom and talking about how in the next 90 days, I could be making $40,000 a month or whatever, right? Totally overhyped, totally unrealistic. But there's my wife and I listening to this message, and we got excited about what could be possible for our future and our family. And so that got me into my very first business. But more importantly, or maybe as important, my very first business that I joined had a recommended reading list. And that reading list had a list of books on it. It had books like Psycho-Cybernetics. It had books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and several Robert Kiyosaki books, one of which was a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so, I'm as wanting to have a better future for myself and my family, I start reading these books, one by one. And I remember one night, it was after work. I'd worked at my job all day. I come home, sitting in my trailer house, sitting in this recliner. Actually, I can almost remember the night, right? We had this tip out. So, I don't know if you know much about single wide trailer houses, but 14 feet wide, 70 feet long, so kind of long, skinny things. And I was sitting in this trailer, and a tip out is basically just an additional attachment to the living room. It's like an extra little box. So you have a little bit of extra room in your living room. And so we were kind of living high, in this trailer house with this tip out. And my wife was sitting on the couch, maybe watching TV or something. And I was sitting in this recliner reading this book. And this book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I remember the best way I can describe the effect the ideas that I read in that book had on my mind is almost like up to that point, in a way, I was walking around in a dark room. And I didn't really know that I didn't really know what was in that room. It was just dark. I couldn't see, as far as money went, as far as finances went, as far as income generation went, I was in this dark room. And reading that book, it literally was like Robert Kiyosaki reached inside my brain, flipped on a light switch, and all of a sudden I could see things that I never saw before. And I couldn't believe it, what I saw, right? I couldn't believe that there were these different ways to make money, because I always thought that I had to go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a good job. And that was how people made money. Like literally that's how do you make money? That's how you go to school, you get a degree, you get a job with a good company, and you get a paycheck. And that's just how people do it. That was my worldview before I read this book. Well, if you've read the book, there's some great ideas in there. What one idea is the cash flow quadrant, the different ways people make money, right? And he has like these, this quadrant where there's 4 boxes, and on the one side, in the one corner, it says E, which is employee, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's me. That's how I'm making money right now. I get up and I go to my job every day, and that's how I get my money. Right below the E is this S, which stands for self-employed, right? And he says what'll sometimes happen is employees will see that maybe in the job that they're in, the financial potential is not that great. And so they'll want to make a transition, maybe be their own boss. And that's where they get into like the self-employed quadrant. And Robert Kiyosaki says that's where you kind of like, you don't have a job, you own a job, right? Where you still have to do all of the functions that the employee had to do. Plus now you've got accounting, marketing, advertising, customer service, right? And so he kind of says that's not the best quadrant. That's not the best quadrant to be in. But then up above that is business owner and then investor. And what he said was, he said the business owner and investor side is the side that's the freedom side. That's where the wealthy reside. They learn to own their own businesses. They become business owners. They make money in business, and then they take that money that they make in business and then they invest it in what he called income producing assets. And this is where, you buy a rental property, you buy maybe a self-storage unit, you buy a single wide trailer house and rent it out. You buy something that is going to produce you income without you actually having to produce the income. And that's the freedom formula, that right side, right? Make money in business and then take that money that you make and reinvest it in income producing assets. And so when I read that, and then he went on to explain, this is why it's the freedom formula, is he said, look, when the amount of money that you have coming in from your investment properties equals or surpasses the amount of money you have going out of your household on a monthly basis, he says that is when you are free. That's when you're free. Because at that point, you don't have a business that requires you to be there. You don't have a job that requires you to be there. You have assets making you money, kind of like an ATM machines, sort of like this money machine that just continues to spit out money. And it doesn't matter if you're there watching the machine or not, really, that money machine will continue to spit out money. And that's the freedom formula. And I remember reading that in that single wide trailer house many years ago. And at the time, I was living in this trailer that we owed about $10,000 for. I think we bought it for $13,500. Maybe we put a couple $1,000s down, had made a few payments. So I didn't even own the trailer that I was in. I was sitting on land that my grandpa Ford here in Southeast Idaho owned. So I didn't own the land. I had an $8,000 car loan. I owed about $40,000 in student loans. I was working this job, making $11 an hour. That was my situation when I learned these ideas. But these ideas fired me up so much that I started out with nothing more than a dream and a desire to learn and a desire to apply. And here I am a few years later, 38 years old, and we're selling our first fix and flip. We already have a few rentals bringing in some great income, and I'm so close to that freedom goal that I can literally taste it. And so in this video, I just kind of wanted to go live and share with you the exciting news that we got that offer on that house. And I'll kind of keep you posted if you're following my channel here at freedomcrusaders.tv or my blog over at paulhutchings.net. I'll keep you posted as this journey unfolds. But I am so excited to be so close to my freedom. And what I'm really excited about on top of that is I'm excited to get into that spot for myself and my family, but then also that will just raise my ability to be an inspiration and be an example and be a teacher to the next level, where I can continue to do my best to do what I love to do, and that is to teach other people the ideas and the principles and the concepts that have helped me to get where I am right now, and are going to continue to help me to get where I'm going. So if any of that appeals to you, subscribe, freedomcrusaders.tv, follow my videos. Head on over to my blog at paulhutchings.net /blog. I have some free gifts that you can download over there. I really believe in freedom. My vision is freedom through principle-centered leadership. And the fire in my heart is to get there myself and to help as many people as I possibly can get there as well. And that's me, right? And that's my story, and that's my video for today. So hopefully this new format works out okay. Hopefully, I can get some music on here so that it's not just my boring voice all the way through the video. But I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to encourage you, wherever you're at in life right now is not where you have to stay. Things can always get better by getting a new idea, taking a new action. Because you can always get a new idea, because you can always take a new action. That means that your life can always get better. And that's why I believe that we all have better things waiting for us in our future. So that's it. Have an awesome day.
we'll see you on tomorrow's video, and leave me your thoughts, comments down below. If you found this video somehow, if you found yourself tuning in, if you have any other thoughts or ideas, I'd love to hear those. If you have any ideas on helping people, step into lives of financial freedom. Another part of my vision is I really want to build a community of freedom crusaders, people who are in alignment with the thoughts that I've shared in this video, where we can help and support each other so that we can help more people get there a little bit faster. And so if that aligns with you at all, then would love to invite you to join our community and be a freedom crusader. Join our Freedom Crusaders Alliance. And I can definitely share more with you on that if you want to reach out to me. So anyway, that's it. Have an awesome day. I'm going to continue to drink my tasty beverage here and go hang out with the family and enjoy the rest of the Sunday. So have a good one, guys. Take care and bye for now.